dad was a brilliant man, but like all Lebanese immigrants, he was a tiny little merchant. All I'm trying to do is follow in his footsteps and sell a little bit bigger.
Musings of a modern-day billionaire investor. This week on Marketplace Middle East, Lebanese-American Tom Barrack of Colony Capital talks family, funds, and future investments. Also, business without borders, the latest trends and techniques in the world of global branding. From politics with princes to hotels and horses, Tom Barrack has a rich and long-standing relationship in the Middle East, much of which he owes to his Lebanese background.
I think I can suffer more pain than most people, which Lebanese are good at. Crisis management is a daily occurrence.
The self-made billionaire and founder of Colony Capital, a leading private equity real estate company, is an expert at taking risk. Whether he's purchasing some $200 million in Middle East property, barreling through rolling waves on his surfboard, or buying and then selling Paris Saint-Germain football team in France.
For a private equity fund to own a soccer team in Paris was not a great idea. When they would lose a game, there would be signs saying, "Yankees go home."
But it is the hospitality sector that is Barrack's specialty, and here in the Middle East, there are plenty of opportunities on offer, especially when you partner up with Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, one of the world's richest men.
It's capital intensive, so locals usually in the growth cycle of a country don't like hospitality. They like trading, commodities, logistics, 5 times return. So with Prince Al-Walid, it was really saying, I'm better off, I need a brand, I want a Fairmont or a Four Seasons or a Swiss hotel in my own region. But the way I'll get there is I'll make an investment in that entity, then I'll use the entity with my local contacts to marry the bricks and mortar, and he's done it brilliantly.
The sovereign wealth funds, this is interesting. It's often overlooked that Colony Capital does a lot of work with the Qataris. But why did you connect with the Qataris in this platform to take them west, if you will, for those brands?
Well, they were going west, so their selection process, as we had Fairmont, for instance, which was an investment between Prince Al-Walid, the Qataris, and ourselves, we had the benefit of buying Raffles and merging it with Fairmont, in which they were an investor. So we became partners, we became married in an entity in which we then discovered that we had other fish to fry, so to speak. And as it always happens, relationships beget relationships.
So the strategy, coming from a private equity standpoint, if you wanted to bring brands into play here, what's the DNA of a brand that can withstand, say, the complexities of the different countries in the Middle East, and what works and what does not?
So the first thing is having a business which is borderless. So hospitality, for instance, tourism, which necessitates infrastructure, transportation, customs, passports, fulfillment, logistics, the ability to have a brand with locals so that you can partner with the adventurer through a very complicated bureaucracy, which is the key to the Middle East and the key to Africa.
Tom Barrack of Colony Capital again on building a global business. Well, being borderless is not just for the multinationals. Many small and medium-sized enterprises right here in the Middle East are looking to go international. Amir Daftari now and the do's and don'ts of trying to create a brand without borders.
If you're going to create a brand and speak to somebody in a matter of minutes and say what your company's called, are they going to understand what it does from the initial words?
Simple enough question, but creating a brand that can go global can be a tricky business, especially in the Middle East.
This region has been used to naming their companies after the family and growing the empire. However, when you're looking to go abroad, these are not punchy or quirky enough that other people would recognize.
Simon Hudson and his team help companies create a name that will resonate anywhere in the world. The branding guru is a big believer in the power of social media. For him, the difference between success and failure boils down to just a few things.
Good name, good branding, own all of the digital spaces, and ultimately know what our key message is.
So those are the branding rules, but is anyone following them? This is Switch, a gourmet wrap/shawarma restaurant. Now these guys have got the cool abbreviated name, they've got the funky logo, and they're all over social media. But is it paying off? Let's find out. How you doing? Fadel Belmahdi is the man in charge, and despite his emphasis on branding, he says to really be a borderless business, there is something far more important to consider.
You will not get anywhere without a great product, and the branding comes as it's as important, but it's just below the product. Trying to match also the tone of voice of the brand in our social media, which is something very quirky, very funky. A lot of people actually have been posting about us because our food, like I said, our food is good. Dubai is a home market, but eventually we want to become the universal shawarma of the world.
Conquering the world one shawarma at a time. It's a big ask, especially for a small enterprise that's less than a year old. But with a new restaurant launching in just a few months, brand Switch believes it has its business strategy all wrapped up. Amir Daftari, CNN, Dubai.
As SMEs try to go global, one of the most important and potentially lucrative opportunities is Africa. Up next on Marketplace Middle East, what it takes to break into the continent and be successful.